If you own a short-term rental and you're listing it on Airbnb, whether you manage it yourself or you use a property manager, you need to stop what you're doing and pay attention to this video because Airbnb just made one of the biggest fee changes in the history of the platform, and most hosts have no idea how much money they're actually leaving on the table. Let's start at the beginning. For years, Airbnb operated on what they called a split fee model. Here's how it worked. You, as the host, paid roughly 3% of the booking total. Simple, clean, easy to predict. The guest paid a separate service fee at checkout, somewhere between 14 and 16.5%, tacked on top of the nightly rate. So who was really paying Airbnb? The guest. The host fee was basically a rounding error. On a $1,000 booking, you as the host were paying about $30, and that's it. Now here's where it gets interesting and where the divide between personal hosts and property managers started to matter. In Europe and most international markets, property managers using software had already been placed on a 15% host-only fee structure going all the way back to 2020 and 2021. But here in the US, hosts using booking platforms or PMS software were still sitting at that 3% host fee. That gap was significant and Airbnb just closed it. So here's what just changed and when. In late August 2025, Airbnb announced a major shift, moving from split fee model to a host-only fee of 15.5%. Starting October 27, 2025, Airbnb transitioned all PMS connected hosts, meaning anyone using property management software like HostAway, Guesty, Hospitable, or any channel manager, to the 15.5% host-only fee. Then, beginning December 1st, 2025, most non-PMS hosts who were already on simplified pricing made the same transition to the standardized 15.5% rate. So what does that actually mean in dollars? Under the old structure, a host with a $1,000 booking paid $30 to the platform. Under the new structure, that same $1,000 booking now costs the host $155. That is a 5x increase in what you're paying Airbnb on every single booking. And it doesn't stop at the nightly rate. The 15.5% applies to the full booking subtotal, including cleaning fees, pet fees, and extra guest charges. Do the math on a full year. A host earning $30,000 in bookings gives up $4,650 in fees alone under this new structure. That's real money. So let's compare the real difference between the split fee and the host-only fee. Now I want to make sure you understand what actually changed here, because the framing Airbnb is using is misleading. Under the old split fee model, the total platform take was roughly 17 to 20% combined. It was just split between you and the guest. The host paid roughly 3% of the booking subtotal, and the guest paid a separate service fee of 14 to 16.5% tacked on at checkout. Under the new host-only model, Airbnb removed the guest service fee and shifted the entire platform cost onto you, the host, at 15.5%. Airbnb's public argument is that this creates pricing transparency for guests. No more sticker shock at checkout, and on paper, that makes sense. Guests now see the full price up front. But here's the reality. You are now absorbing a fee that used to be split. If you don't adjust your nightly rates upward by approximately 15.5%, your payout per booking drops significantly. Let's look at an example. So before, if you booked a night for $1,000, the guest would pay 15.5%, meaning they would end up paying $1,155. Now they've transferred that 15.5% to your side, which means that if you get a night for $1,000, then you're paying the 15.5%, meaning you're going to make somewhere around $845. Now, let's say that you add that $155 to the fee, the rental night. Now, it looks like you're going to rent it for more money, but you're actually getting 15.5% taken off of that. But 15.5% taken off of $1,000 is less than 15.5% taken off of $1,155. So what you're actually paying is $179. I hope that makes sense. Now here's what it means for property managers specifically. If you use a vacation rental manager or a PMS platform like Guesty or Hostaway, this change hits you first and hardest. Property management software like Guesty adds their own subscription or revenue share cost on top of the Airbnb fees. So you could be looking at 15.5% to Airbnb plus another 2 to 3% to your software platform, putting your total platform cost closer to 18 to 19%. Now, some Guesty platforms and others don't charge a percentage. You have the choice to either pay a percentage of all your bookings, or you can just pay a lump sum for the entire year, which is probably a better fit. But here's the thing your property manager should already be doing. To keep your payouts consistent, nightly rates on Airbnb need to increase by about 15.5% or more, if you got the calculation I did earlier. A good manager should have already implemented that adjustment proactively. If yours hasn't had that conversation with you, that's a red flag. So what happens next? Here's what I think and what the data supports. Airbnb is clearly moving toward a model where they control more of the margin at the platform level. Other major OTAs like Booking.com already use a host fee only model, so Airbnb is aligning with what's become an industry standard. The driving factor behind the timing? The FTC's push against so-called junk fees essentially forced Airbnb's hand. The government didn't want consumers seeing one price and then getting hit with a 15% service fee at checkout. So Airbnb built that cost into the host side of the equation. Here's what I believe is coming. More standardization, less flexibility for hosts to opt out. The era of a 3% host fee is gone and it's not coming back. The platform is also watching how hosts respond. If occupancy holds and revenue holds, there's no incentive for them to walk any of this back. My take, the hosts who win in this environment are the ones who, 1, adjust their Airbnb rates to offset the fee without pricing themselves out of the market. 2, build a direct booking channel. A basic direct booking setup with a website and booking software might run $100 to $300 per month. And at the savings per booking over Airbnb, most active hosts hit break even within just a few months. Number 3, diversify across platforms. VRBO, direct bookings, and referral-based guests are more important than ever. The platforms are not your business partners. They're a distribution channel, and they just raised the toll on the bridge. The smartest thing you can do is build your own road. If you found this video helpful, share it with any host or investor you know who's listing on Airbnb, because most people don't know their margins just got quietly crushed. Hit subscribe and I'll keep breaking down exactly what's happening in the short-term rental world and real estate market so you can stay ahead of it.